Hey, before I get to the Donald Trump stuff, story of the day. Are you ready? Did you see Andrew and Jeff especially, but Christine too? I don't know. Did you do a bracket?
No.
I was doing a bracket this year. I wish
this
I had.
This is a perfect bracket. I'm calling.
I wish I had done a bracket because I just think I don't know, every year, and I'm always too late. I'm sitting there watching the game. I'm like, forgot to do the bracket. Anyway, not a perfect bracket. But a man in Syracuse is the co-leader of the Yahoo bracket contest.
No kidding.
And is up for $50,000.
Wow.
Good for him.
Not really. Here comes the story of the day. James Kiki went to work Monday morning and figured out he should check on that bracket he filled out. Unlike a lot of people across the country, Kiki, who lives in Syracuse, was not checking his bracket regularly and did not realize that he was the co-leader. And what is that noise?
I'm
up
sorry.
for $50,000. It was like, what the heck? Let me just try it because why not, he said. That's why I ended up filling out one. I had never done one probably ever. Now, he's probably not a big basketball fan. Because if you know about basketball, brackets are hard to do in college basketball.
Anyone can win, though. I've heard many stories.
Anybody can win.
People pick mascots. They pick the community.
That's the point. That's
they'd
my
rather vacation
point.
in. Yeah.
So he went back and he checked on his bracket and realized he was the co-leader.
Wow.
Out of 500,000 entries in Yahoo's contest, he was tied for first place. However, he can't win.
Why?
Because little did he know that he made a mistake, and he did not pick a winner. He filled out every single slot except for the winner of the NCAA championship game. And probably because he didn't know. He'd never done it before. He doesn't follow basketball. Didn't know the brackets and just didn't fill out the last one.
So he's filled it up to the Final Four.
Filled it up to the Final Four. He is number 2 in America.
What?
But he has not picked a final winner.
Now, if this were the Keeler show,
he?
he'd get
Why
a
can't he
consolation
now?
prize.
I think in the rules it says it's not complete.
Yeah, it's an incomplete bracket.
It's an
I mean,
incomplete
listen,
bracket. He can't win.
At the end of the day, if he has the most points, I believe he would win. But you get it's not staggered, but it's weighted. Each round
Correct.
is weighted. So
They're
if he doesn't
saying-
have a championship, somebody else who picked whoever wins
gonna have more
is going to
points,
leapfrog
Okay,
past
here's
him.
the. By the way, Kiki is a refugee from South Sudan who's hoping there was some sort of a consolation prize, but it's a winner take all. The bracket, he can't win. He just can't. He can't win. But it shows you he knows nothing about basketball, nothing. And the guy is in first place right now.
Wow.
So maybe
Well-
there'll be somebody who'll give him something. I don't know. But
We
at
should
the
give
end
him
of
dinner for
biggest
two.
issue-
at the end, we'll give him dinner for two.
My biggest
Congratulations.
Here's Carmela's. The biggest issue I have is that he's got North Carolina against Villanova, I think, was his
I didn't
final
see his
pick.
bracket.
That's what it's highlighted as. That's my biggest issue. Let's talk about that, shall we?
Well, at the end of the day, he's number 1 in America right now.
Can I tell you that our bracket we filled out, Town Square did an internal bracket.
Yeah.
And I went through and I had Syracuse in the championship game.
You did.
I had Syracuse in the championship game, and then because here's what happens: I've done these office pools for many years. Everyone who's not a huge college basketball fan, who do you pick? You pick Cuse.
Correct.
So you pick Cuse to win it, and you're with 9 other people
Yeah.
in your office pool
Yeah.
who
Yeah.
pick Cuse. So I went back and redid it. I had them losing to Michigan State in the second round. None of my Final Four teams went. Here's the other thing: I'm in the ESPN Tournament Challenge. Obviously, Syracuse has done better than most.
Yeah.
And again, it's a local thing. You pick your local team.
Sure, yeah.
So, like, number 1, tied on the ESPN, which I don't know what the payout is, a Lenny Cuse. There's Orange Crush. There's all these Cuse.
Yeah, if Syracuse
King
goes all the
Cuse.
way. If Syracuse
So I think
goes
there's
all
a
the
lot
way.
of Syracuse people
Yeah.
in the
Interesting.
ESPN one, too.
Well, and I got to tell you, did we not say on the air here, we talked about Syracuse before the tournament. After the league tournament, before the NCAA tournament, and we said, you know what? This is a team that has the talent, that could go all of a sudden turn it on
Yeah.
and play all the way. I mean, we talked about that.
Yes, we did.
They are that good. It's just they didn't play that well all season long. It was so inconsistent all season long. And, you get on it's college basketball. You get on a tear, all you need is a pretty good streak, and you could go all the way. Mm-hmm. So hey, listen, it's been fun while it's lasted. I'm happy that it's where it is right now. I mean, if they were to lose Saturday night, still happy. Yeah. What a year.
I mean,
what a game the other night. I mean, you got to be happy with it. I
dislike North Carolina so much. I'd love to beat them, but
well, there's a battle now between Governor Cuomo and the governor of North Carolina over this religious freedom, this anti-LGBT ... law. And the word is there'll be no friendly bet between these two governors because Cuomo has banned all travel, all unnecessary travel to North Carolina.
Well, I actually heard the bet was if Syracuse wins, the governor can go to any bathroom he wants to.
That's right.
Whenever he visits North Carolina.
Good point. Okay, Republican town hall last night. Trump revokes his pledge to support any Republican nominee. See, what happened is he won Missouri, but the delegates, they can put their delegates, it's that same thing with the superdelegates. They basically tied. Cruz and Trump basically tied because the delegates did not support Trump. There is, listen, I don't see how this can't explode in some way or fashion at the convention. I don't see how it can go smoothly.
I don't understand.
And that is going to be just crazy right now because you got a guy who will never back down. Donald Trump seems to be the guy who, no matter what, there's no for the good of America, I will back down. I don't think that will ever come out of his mouth.
But is that fair to say that? Because he did say that. He did come out and say that and said that he'll back the Republican Party. And now the Republican Party said you need to back whomever the nominee is. And now if the nominee isn't the GOP establishment's person, they're not going to back that person themselves.
Has nothing to do with what I'm saying. I'm just saying that he's a dangerous candidate because he will never back down for the good of the country.
Right.
I don't ever see, which has nothing to do with whether they backed him or not. He worries me because he's a candidate that will never back down for the good of the country. Even Richard Nixon backed down and sucked it up and lived with what he had to live with because he didn't want to put the country through what was going to happen with Watergate, and he resigned. Even Richard Nixon backed down for the good of America. Do you see Donald Trump ever backing down for the good, what is best for the country?
John Kasich also said he would not back the
No,
nominee.
they all did.
And Ted Cruz said he wouldn't because he would be the nominee.
Here we go. Here's Ted Cruz. It's kind of his John Kasich-y way of saying it. Then he hugged all the candidates. They all got hugged. Everybody in the audience got a hug. But don't you do you agree with me on that this is a guy that won't back down? He will not back down.
Yeah, and you know, the thing that bothered me in that cut was that he's saying I'm being treated very unfairly because I heard the exact same soundbite when he was talking about the campaign staff or manager who was charged.
The media's treating me unfairly. This one's treating me unfairly. That one's treating me unfairly.
And now he's saying I'm going to stand by him. He was treated unfairly. He's being treated very unfairly. You know, it's just always the same thing with him. And he said yesterday, I told him, you do not negotiate, you do not plead, you do not apologize. Yeah. You're being treated unfairly. You fight this to the end, period. And that's what you're saying. That's Trump. I'm going to fight this to the end.
Period.
Win, lose, or draw, we're going all the way.
No matter who gets hurt. And that's the danger that I find. And I'm sorry, Jim Zecca. I know you're big on Trump, but I fear that this is a guy that will never make a decision that hurts himself because it's a better decision for the country. And don't we all do that with our families at times? Boy, I need to do this, but I'm not going to because it's better for my family if I do this. I mean, we make sacrifices. This is not a sacrifice guy, and you wonder, is that the way the presidency would be? He would never back down. I mean, have you ever heard him say through this entire time that was wrong? I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have said not forget sorry, but has he ever said that was never? It's never happened. So all I see is that makes this for a very interesting convention coming up. Unless the Republicans back down. Will the established Republicans, will they back down? I don't know. Going to be interesting. 6:50, Gabby Cabby's coming next. Hold tight at WIBX.